Squirrels and Robots, episode 128. Summer Game Fest recap. Here we go. There was a bunch of stuff announced over the last week during the Summer Game Fest VR Showcase and Day of the Devs Indie Game Showcase, to name a few. Why have all these announcements in 1 week? Because E3 is dead. Kinda. Yeah, I guess all these little events are trying to fill the void left by E3, not doing anything. So, let's get through this. Because since production has been held up on just about everything for the last 2 years, apparently we're getting everything all at once. But honestly, I'm going to try to whittle this down to stuff I find interesting or worthy of looking into. So I'm not covering everything. There's too much. So, the VR Showcase revealed a bunch of VR games, including 2 rhythm games. Unplugged air guitar with Pantera DLC. Yes, Pantera! Do you know how many times I've air guitared Cowboys from Hell? At least twice, I'm guessing. Another rhythm game mostly dealing with metal music called Ragnarok. Let's see what they did there. Ragnarok Hellfest Raid. Hooray for the return of metal! You can't kill the metal. Yeah, but you can certainly water it down. Among Us is getting a VR version, which should actually be pretty fun. That sounds sus. I honestly think that would work very well. So, good on them for taking that chance. For spooky games, there's a Twilight Zone VR game that contains 3 different stories you can go through, and another horror-type game called Killer Frequency. That looked pretty interesting. So, look them up, as they don't look terrible. Also, I would like to point out, that for gamers with accessibility issues, the game Cosmonious High is doing a massive update for accessibility. So if gaming in VR seemed a bit difficult, they are going to make it easier. So good on them. Yeah, that definitely deserves a nod of respect. So, Cosmonious High devs, good job. Let's see, there were a few other games showcased, so, look up the announcements list. We're just covering some that seem somewhat interesting to us, and our tastes are kind of weird. Very weird, am I right? Speak for yourself. I like my ladies without cat ears. Quite you. In non-VR gaming, we seem to be hitting the sci-fi space cycle again, as a bunch of games including Alien Dark Descent, Callisto Protocol, Dead Space Remake, Fort Solis, Deliver Us Mars, Starfield, and Routine, to name a few, are all space-related exploration games, and all made some sort of announcement this past week. So much space! Also, Starship Troopers game. Yeah, they're making one. It's like very XCOM-y. Like XCOM, the game. Starship Troopers! Space bugs go boom! A 30-year-old game called Flashback is getting a sequel called Flashback 2, apparently, and System Shock is getting a modern remake, which actually looks pretty good. So, for ye olden gamers, look into those. I didn't even know Flashback was a game! 30 years old? Really? Apparently. Also, for those who want a shooting game that has a fantasy magic twist, look into Witchfire. Looks kinda spooky shooty. Spooky shooty. Also, One Piece Odyssey was announced, so hooray for anime things. Also, the makers of Genshin Impact are releasing Zenless Zone Zero and a bunch of updates for their other games, which I feel is spreading themselves a bit thin. Yeah, well, cash grabs will do that. Also, speaking of spooky games, The Quarry is another spooky game that just got released. Kinda like Man of Medan kind of thing. And another Layer of Fear game, called Layer of Fears, is being released somewhat soon. Now with more fears! The Day of the Devs showcase had some more of the promising announcements. The ones I gravitated towards were Time Flies, where you play the life of a fly. Sounds weird, but okay. Choo Choo Charles, where you are constantly running from a killer train. It's like the Thomas the Tank mod for Resident Evil is now a full game, but honestly, it is scarier than it sounds. Keep an eye on that one. Escape Academy, which is essentially an escape room school simulator type thing. If you miss going to escape rooms, boom. It's actually made by people who make escape rooms. Or was that the other escape room game? I think it was this one, but yeah, there's another escape room game out there. There's a couple of them, frankly. My first tactic to escape a room is to break the window with my face. That explains a lot. Also, an odd game called Skim, Schim, where you play a little black shadow blob thing, hopping from shadow to find your way back to your shadowless thing that you somehow got separated from. What? I don't know, just seemed like a cool, chill game, you know? And some folks can use that right now. Another game called Goodbye World is a narrative platformer that has a pixel art anime style that kinda stands out. Already wishlisted! My favorite announcement was Goat Simulator 3. It's gonna be the goat! Oh my god. Devolver Digital did their usual over-the-top press conference this year, showcasing a bunch of odd games like Cult of the Lamb and The Plucky Squire, which kinda reminds me of that old Zelda game where you went from 2D to 3D to solve puzzles. It looks unique, and that's a good thing. Also, Cult of the Lamb looks rather grim and dark, which I feel we need more of, as most games now being churned out are all like colourful, whimsy, cozy, light-hearted things. Makes me want to retch. There's a market for that. But seriously, we need some darker material out there that has kind of a twisted sense of humor. But the world is so dark already. Yeah, and we'd all be able to handle it a little bit better if we learn to laugh at the morbid things in life through media. Oh, okay. For those not sick of zombies, oh god, The Last of Us is not only getting a series on HBO, it's also getting a remake. Yes, remake of the first game, which means the second one will eventually get a remake as well. And also, some Last of Us multiplayer game is also in development. That is a lot of Last of Us! I haven't seen this many zombies since The Walking Dead. Well, here's what I'm thinking. I have a feeling Sony is really trying to make The Last of Us their Walking Dead, you know? Like, mark my words, there's gonna be spin-off series, spin-off games, and inevitably some mobile crap, okay? It'll happen. I'm kinda tired of post-apocalyptic zombie creature mutation things. It's like a ho-hum affair if I'm not gonna buy it. Yeah, I mean, the remake of Last of Us does look exceptionally good, even by comparison to the remaster. But, yo, does anyone need to play through it a third time, let alone having to buy it a third time? I kind of feel like this was remade way too soon, just so they had a product out there for when the series is released. Yeah, well, it'll be on discount by the time we get hold of a PS5, so, I'm not terribly concerned about the price tag. Never gonna get a PS5! They don't exist! Yeah, good point. Now, for Netflix games. A bunch of mobile-looking things for the most part. Netflix is getting into games, are they? Apparently. So if you have a Netflix app on your phone or tablet, scroll down. There is an actual games section. All the games are free. There's supposedly no microtransactions. It's just an extra perk. Apparently. But in addition to that, they're creating a Dragon Age animated series, a Tekken anime series, and a Sonic animated series. All the game crossovers for maximum franchise market penetration. Yeah. The sheer amount of franchise, multi-genre, multi-entertainment, multi-everything is mind-numbing. Like, I was literally zoning out. There was just too much stuff. But Netflix is also working on a series with Junji Ito called Maniac. So hopefully that'll turn out well, and they might not have wanted to bury that underneath all the other garbage they announced. I had to go digging for that. But wait, there's more. Okay, yeah. The Tribeca Games Festival is apparently a thing, but they did highlight some games with a bit more depth, such as Thirsty Suitors, which is kind of a weird dating sim, and another interesting game called Venba, which is like a cooking sim narrative with cultural generation storytelling. That sounds rather ambitious. I like eating. American Arcadia is a pretty decent take on escaping a dystopian future. Picture someone trying to escape the Truman Show. It's interesting. A game called Good Heavens has a nice humorous spin on procedurally generated open-world crafting. I recommend looking into it just for the humor. Hipster werewolves! Dude, that made me laugh! Yep. But seriously, oh god, we gotta get through these. There's so many more things to comment on. So if you don't have a pen and paper, grab it now. The Wholesome Games Direct featured a bunch of games that are essentially chill, wholesome, or have some, deeper meaning to. Of course, I picked out the ones that are a little darker, like Critter Crops, where basically you just grow some creepy critters, okay? We need that. Mika and the Witch's Mountain, you're a witch, running around, doing things. and Voltaire, the vegan vampire, which was not shown during that, but is an odd take on vampires for people who don't want a bunch of blood and gore in their games. So if wholesome is your thing, check out the Wholesome Games Direct list of showcased games. Hey, I get it. Sometimes when you're looking for a game, you don't want to just keep shooting or blowing up things, okay? So seriously, look into those. Those are my favorite. The Future of Play Direct thing got a bit cringe with VTuber antics, but featured some decent games, as did the Future Games Showcase. Let's get through these, please. My mind is glazing over. Yeah, mine too. Fridge is Red is a freaky retro-style horror game. Looks exceptionally well done considering it's a really indie, kind of PS1, PS2 throwback kind of thing. Look into it, seriously. Ugly. What? Not you. Ugly, a quirky, dark puzzle platformer with kind of a different type of gameplay. Lost in Play, which has some strong Gravity Falls vibes. Especially the opening. Very Gravity Falls vibes. Very. Strongly inspired by. Alright, okay. Giga Bash. Giant kaijus battle in various cities. Monsters. It is an indie game, so don't have high expectations, but it does look fun. I want to destroy a city. Yes. Turbo Golf Racing, which is essentially Rocket League golf. Now, I liked Rocket League until Epic Games bought it and started dropping loot llamas all over the place, okay? Don't play it anymore. So for me, Turbo Golf Racing is a nice alternative. No one seems to like Epic Games. You know, I mean, they just keep giving you free games like every week, and people are like, thank you for the free games, but I'll still hate you. Like they're this apologetic significant other you just broke up with. They're like, please, I'm sorry, I don't even know what I did. Here are some flowers and candy. Please be my friend. And you're just like, yeah, we leave the candy and flowers at the door and get out my life. It is weird. Yeah, there's a weird psychology there. Night Witch, a shoot-'em-up Metroidvania with some decent artwork. You know, there were a lot of games with witches in them. You know, like a lot. Also, a lot of games with frogs and bears and cats or bunnies and the wholesome games thing. Yeah, a lot of those indie wholesome games. Well, I will say, from what we've seen, right? You know, at least the indies are trying to bring something new to the world of gaming. You know, it's good. They're like pushing things forward a bit. Yep, support the indies. Damn it. Now, for the not-so-indies, being Xbox and Bethesda. They announced a bunch of games coming to Game Pass. Like, all the games. For those who don't know what Game Pass is, it's basically a subscription to get any games they have on the service. And there is a lot. I hate subscriptions, but I have not had to buy a new game on Xbox since forever. Like, Halo is on there. All the first-party Microsoft games are on there. Everything. It's insane. Like, you know, if you think about it, right, like a new game is $60, $70, right? If you buy 2 new games a year, that is the price of Game Pass. And I have played, like, at least 50 different games on Game Pass within the last 6 months. I mean, it's just math at that point. Yeah, because, you know, most of you who buy new games, you're just going to end up selling them or never going back to them. So, for me, I have limited time, but I like to try different things. Hashtag, this is not an ad, I own it, and it works. Yeah. Anyway, they announced a bunch of stuff like a new Forza Motorsport, Starfield, which looks pretty beefy, honestly. It is a Bethesda game. We'll see how buggy it is at launch, but generally it looks pretty solid. If you like space exploration with the scope of an Elder Scrolls game, look into it. What was the other one? Oh, the Geiger, or Giger, whatever. The guy who created the alien stuff. The Giger-inspired Scorn. Now that looks dark and creepy. So, for anybody who liked that Aliens vibe or the H.R. Geiger work, look into it. Look into it. Like, I can't recommend enough looking into that game, even if you're just going to watch the trailer. It is creepy. It is done well. Scorn. S-C-O-R-N. Anyway, Flintlock. It's a game. Diablo 4, I don't think that's coming to Game Pass yet. Looks good, but it is Blizzard. But Microsoft will soon own Blizzard, so it may go to Game Pass. Minecraft Legends, I don't care about. It's Minecraft. You either love it or you don't. Redfall, which is essentially a Left 4 Dead, but with vampires. You don't need people to play it. They're single player and co-op, so hopefully it'll be good. But more importantly, Xbox has partnered with Kojima. Yes, that one. On a new Xbox exclusive project. Yeah, there's that too. You know, I mean, right after that was announced, PlayStation folks were like kind of miffed about it and actually started a petition to not have Kojima's project be exclusive. What? Like, hold on. If you look into it, the last I heard, Kojima's working with Xbox because PlayStation didn't want to basically put out the money for Kojima's next vision. Okay? Xbox did. Yo, blame PlayStation for losing Kojima. What the hell? It doesn't make any sense. But hey, if you're a PlayStation fan and you want to be pissed off, Persona 5, 4, and Persona 3 Portable are also going to Xbox. But not just Xbox, Xbox Game Pass. So, for anyone who's wanted to play the Persona games, which are very good, by the way, yeah, they're all going to be on there at some point. And, you know, Persona 3, right, is Persona 3 Portable. That was only available on the PSP or PSP Vita, right? We're actually getting a real release now. How amazing is that? Finally. Now, you don't even know anything about the series, mate. Hey, I take that Persona, Oh my god. Well, for those in the Xbox ecosystem, you shall have your hands full over the next 12 months, as every game that was announced, which was way more than we covered here, will supposedly be released within that 12-month time window. Allegedly. You know, we'll see, you know, but I'm excited about Persona 3, though, you know? And, yo, PlayStation folks, does it really matter if these games go to PC or Xbox? I mean, do you really need to be sawing your PlayStations in half because Spider-Man is going to PC? No, you don't. You should just be happy that more people are able to enjoy the game. And therefore, you might meet more people who actually know what you're talking about when you're like, oh, dude, Persona's such a cool game. Bleh. You know, and I gotta tell you, that Kojima project everyone's pissed about, that's probably gonna be on PC as well. An Xbox exclusive, most of the time, means it's also on PC. Okay? Xbox doesn't care about you buying a console. They've kind of moved past that. They have consoles, they work well, but that's not their thing. They're focused on Game Pass, and that's available for PC. If anything, I feel like they would rather get rid of the consoles and just have a streaming service for Game Pass. If they can get rid of that latency, which their cloud service basically does, it's exceptionally good. They're gonna get there. They're gonna get there well before anybody else. Okay? So the console wars, to me, that's for children, okay? That's for people who can't see past the little box that's containing their games, okay? I don't care about consoles. I care about the games, and I go where they are. That's it. You should too. Brand loyalty is stupid, because no brand 100% of the time is gonna be awesome. So, why? Well, I mean, there's a psychology. You know, people like to pick sides. You know, be it politics or sports or, you know, even you talk to people about metal bands, you know, or even J.i.M, like baby metal, right? Oh, God. No, listen, hear me out. If you talk to people about, like, a band like baby metal, you know, they'll come back at you and they'll be like, well, Bandmate is better because, you know, fill in the blanks and, you know, then you gotta argue with them about all these. You know, but the point is, people like to pick sides. Yeah, I've noticed that. I don't know. If you guys are still choosing sides, you gotta reevaluate your life. But whatever. Poop. I'm gonna poop on you. Poop. What? Moving on. The PC Game Show showcased a bunch of stuff that has been seen in one of the aforementioned shows for the most part, with a few standouts for my tastes being Decarnation, which is a really creepy pixel art kind of thing, which I feel has the tone of a Junji Ito project. Okay? That's just me. The Alters, which just seems to be like a weird game. I can't even describe it. And Solstice, spelled Soulstice. Kind of anime-ish. I am on board for that. Shut up. Oi. Other than that, it was a slew of RTS farming, crafting games, and, oh god, just so much stuff. But a pretty large mod for, what is it? Alex Half-Life VR. But wait, there's more! Capcom! Yeah, we didn't watch that because they basically said they're going to cover previously announced games. Those being Exoprimal, which looks like, World War Z with dinosaurs. Resident Evil 4 Remake, yes, it's getting a remake. Street Fighter 6, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and, again, other previously announced games. But, I mean, like I said, for the last few years, production has been kinda jank, you know? And now we're just all overloaded with all these delayed releases finally coming out, all at once. Yeah, I feel like if we didn't have that whole pandemic thing, we'd have had half these games already. Gaming is a feast or famine type industry. Yeah, it is. I would like to say that Xbox partnering with Atlas on the Persona games is a win for all anime game fans who may also have an Xbox. So good on you, Xbox, for looking out for us. Persona! Ugh. I don't know about you folks, but my brain is fried on the sheer amount of games we covered. Again, most of these have been in the works for a while, so it's not like they're technically new, but they are closer to releasing. Also, these were just the ones we kind of cherry-picked because they look unique or had a different spin on game mechanics or storytelling. Speaking of which, Deadly Premonition 2 has been released. Oh my god, why? Oh, come on, mate. It's like a retro Twin Peaks B-movie, PS2 game kind of thing. You know, like Michigan, Report from Hell. Oh god. Alright, maybe that'll be fun just for the badness of it all. I don't know. But honestly, yo, am I the only one that really thinks we need an entertainment culling or something? Because there are literally hundreds of games coming out every quarter. Be it indie or AAA studios, movies, series, they are constant. Like, I actually want a break from media. I have to watch 5 screens at once, play 2 consoles at the same time, and read 7 different comics in unison to keep up with everything. It's a lot of work. What? It's exhausting. Yeah, for everyone out there, try not to get too wrapped up in the constant feeds of entertainment and announcements, because before you know it, you'll spend more time reading about what's being released than actually watching or playing it. I also watch streamers play the games I don't have time for. Crafty little bugger. Yeah, so we're out. Go buy a game or something from an indie dev and support them. Actually play it and try to enjoy stuff. Also, yes, we are still working on that card game. I want to make a digital one, too. Never gonna happen. Later, everyone. Be well, stay smart. If you want a complete list of games covered, Steam usually has a page for it. And if not, look up Summer Games Fest, Wholesome Games Direct, Guerrilla Collective, Tribeca Game Show, PC Game Show, Future Game Show, and the Future of Gaming Show. Oh, yeah. And Day of the Devs. And the VR Showcase. Christ, you know, I never thought I'd miss E3. Yeah, we need all these events to be consolidated somehow, or maybe just spread them out a bit, you know, so we're not inundated with all this information. Yeah, and for those interested, don't just look up what was announced during Summer Game Fest. Those lists tend to only cover the major stuff. Dig a little deeper, find the indie games. Start with the Wholesome Games Direct, they have fun, colorful ones. Yeah, you know, some of those are so sweet it would make Nintendo ill. Yeah. God. I'm gonna go take a nap. Later, everyone. Go do something fun. Alright. Support indies. Support them! Are we indie? Yes, we are still indie! Oh my god, we don't even have a car! What are you talking about? Are we indie? Yes! Yes, mate, we are. You know, just because we're on YouTube doesn't make us not indie. And, well, I don't know. Nobody tells me. Yes, mate, we're indie. Alright? Thank you. Now I can have a donut. What?